Good morning, everyone. My name is Roger Hayes. I'm the Director of Law Enforcement Services for the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. It's my honor to welcome our great partners from the state of Tennessee who's joined us today to kick off Operation Southern Shield. We're also extremely thankful for our state and local agencies and officers who work tirelessly to keep our families, our citizens safe on our roadways. It's now my distinct pleasure to welcome our first speaker of the day. Ms. Carmen Hayes is the Regional Administrator of the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and a huge supporter of law enforcement and traffic safety. Ms. Hayes, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Roger. Good morning. My name is Carmen Hayes from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. At the USDOT and at NHTSA, safety is our top priority. NHTSA's mission is to save lives. As the nation reopens, many of us are excited to get back to doing more of the things we're used to doing. But it's important that we're all safe behind the wheel because we saw a troubling increase in fatalities on our roads last year, even while fewer people were out driving. NHTSA estimates that in 2020, 38,680 of our fellow Americans were killed in traffic crashes. This represents an estimated increase of about 72% as compared to the 36,096 fatalities reported in 2019. These are more than numbers. These are people who have lost their lives on our roadways, people that will be missed by their family, by their friends, and as a society, we should not accept any deaths on our roads. In fact, speeding-related crashes were up 11% in 2020 as compared to 2019. Speeding endangers everyone on the road. It endangers not only the life of the speeder, but all the people on the road with them, including drivers, pedestrians, and bicyclists. How can you help? You can start by driving the speed limit. That's why Alabama, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and Tennessee are joining together for Operation Southern Shield. Operation Southern Shield is a week-long, multi-jurisdictional effort that focuses on reducing speeding, thus reducing crashes, deaths, and injuries. Enforcement is a part of a safe system approach to transportation. In fact, it's part of the 5 E's, along with equity, engineering, education, and emergency medical services. We must ensure that everyone is working to make our transportation system safe for all of its users, from manufacturers to community and advocacy organizations, to public safety officials and transportation experts, to law enforcement and first responders. Everyone has a role to play. We know that our state and local law enforcement partners are committed to preventing crashes and saving lives. And we know that fairness and equity are central to their efforts. Every day, law enforcement officers face many unique challenges, and departments across the country are actively working to enhance equity in their policing practices. And that often starts in the community with high visibility engagement efforts like this operation to protect all of the community members from the dangers of speeding. We at NHTSA support these efforts, and we are also examining internally how we can better ensure equity in our programs and messaging. Also, please remember that every state has a move over law. You're required to slow down, move over when you see law enforcement or a first responder vehicle with flashing lights on the side of the road. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Hayes. We appreciate it very much. Appreciate your support with all we do. Our director of the Georgia Governor's Office of Highway Safety is Director Alan Poole. It's now my honor to welcome him to the podium.
Thank you, Roger. Good morning, everyone. I am Alan Poole, Director of Georgia's Governor's Office of Highway Safety. On behalf of our governor, Governor Brian Kemp, I'd like to thank all our news outlets, our social media partners, for helping us get the word out today. I also want to thank Ms. Carmen. Ms. Carmen Hayes, she's the NHTSA Region 4 Administrator and a strong supporter and partner for all of us of what we do each day. I also want to thank Mr. Buddy Lewis, Director of Tennessee Office of Highway Safety, for joining us today here as well. I also want to thank our state troopers, Georgia State Patrol, Tennessee State Patrol, and all local law enforcement officers that's here today and help keep our roads safe. Operation Southern Shield started about 4 years ago here in the Southeast. They were created to help stop a rising number of traffic fatality deaths that was caused by speed and non-speed related crashes. Georgia saw a 3% reduction in speed-related fatalities from 2015 to 2019. Unfortunately, the number of people killed in speed and non-speed related crashes in Georgia and across the nation have seen a rise in the last year and a half. This week, Georgia, along with our partner, neighbors with Alabama, South Carolina, Florida, and Tennessee, they're working together to enforce speed and non-speed related traffic laws with a goal to saving lives in all 5 states. This is very important because preliminary data shows that the first half of this year, 2021, sadly, Georgia is on pace to have one of the deadliest years that we've experienced on our roadways. In the first 6 months of this year, there's been more than 850 people have been killed in traffic crashes in the state of Georgia. That is a 21% increase from the first 6 months of 2020. It is also the first time since 2007 that Georgia has had more than 800 people killed in the first half of the year. With fewer people on the road, you would expect that the numbers would go down. Unfortunately, that's not the case. The reason being is speed, and I'm talking about excessive speed. Our law enforcement agencies have seen and checked vehicles 10, 20, and even higher speeds traveling on the highways. If you're one of those drivers, you're endangering your life and the other people's lives that's on the roadway. So for me and all the law enforcement officers here today, please, please slow down. This week, Georgia state troopers, Tennessee state troopers, Alabama, Florida, and South Carolina, they will be out in full force enforcing the highway laws in this region. We hope it will not take blue lights to get your attention to slow down and obey the laws of the road. The most effective way to reduce crashes, injuries, and fatalities is to drive responsibly. This week campaign, Operation Southern Shield, is about reducing crashes, injuries, and fatalities. We will continue with this mission until we reach what we believe is a realistic goal, and that is to have 0 crashes, injuries, and fatalities on the roadway. So once again, on behalf of my governor, Governor Brian Kemp, and all that you guys do, we thank you, and we can't thank you enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. As the Director said, here in Georgia, we're blessed to have a great partnership with our neighbors right across the line in Tennessee. And today it's my honor to introduce the Director of the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, Mr. Buddy Lewis.
Thank you, Roger, and it is great to be with all of you here today. Speaking for Commissioner Jeff Long, the Commissioner of the Department of Safety and Homeland Security, greetings to you. And he appreciates very much the work that everyone in this room is doing on a daily basis to save lives across the state of Tennessee and across the region. So greetings to you from Commissioner Long, and it's an honor to be in Georgia with everyone here today. Tennessee has been a longtime partner with Georgia, as we appreciate everyone being here, and we look forward to continuing the partnership that we have on special events such as this and working on campaigns across the Southeast. Traffic officers and citizens have seen an increase in tremendous reckless driving incidences across the state of Tennessee over the last several months. Speeding and aggressive driving behaviors have dramatically increased over the last several months. And there have been reports of speeding vehicles hitting houses in residential areas. We've had instances of intersections across the cities of Tennessee being taken over by reckless drivers and people that are wanting to do harm. And so this problem is a serious problem, not just for those that are driving, but everyone that's around those people that are on the roadways. And so, you know, it has become a more serious problem when the drivers are unbelted, distracted, or impaired when they're breaking the laws of speed here in Tennessee and across the country. So we want to tell everyone, the message that we're sending today is we're going to be out in full force doing what needs to be done to enforce the laws, to make certain that every law is adhered to. You know, you have a 50% chance of surviving a serious crash if you're not buckled up. 50%, that's rolling the dice pretty well. And we don't need to have people dying because they don't take the time to buckle up and be safe in their vehicles that they're in. So all we're asking for is voluntary compliance on the state laws across our southeast, across our nation, and particularly in Tennessee where we work on a daily basis. Our message to everyone is slow down, abide by the speed laws, never drive recklessly, never drive impaired, don't drink and drive, keep your focus on the road, and buckle up every trip, every time. So my message to you, those that are here and across the Southeast, thank you for what you do on a daily basis to make certain that we, everyone who travels the roadways in our prospective states, are safe. We thank you for what you do, and God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Lewis. In Georgia, our statewide partner is the Georgia State Patrol. And here to represent the Georgia State Patrol today is Lieutenant Mark Riley.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Governor Brian Kemp and the Commissioner of the Department of Public Safety, Chris Wright, I'd like to thank you for being here. Also, I'd like to thank the media. You are an essential part of the educational piece for Operation Southern Shield. This year, Operation Southern Shield runs from July 19th to July 24th. In Georgia, we will target speeders and aggressive drivers as they pose a risk to all travelers on our roadway. The mission is the same throughout all the southeast states involved in Operation Southern Shield, and that is to save lives on our roadways by preventing crashes. The reality is, speeding drastically increases a driver's chance of being involved in a crash, and it is our mandate as law enforcement officers to try to prevent these crashes from happening. The Georgia Department of Transportation reported there was 1,702 fatalities statewide in Georgia during 2020. Of those 1,702 fatalities, 285 were suspected to be speed related. That is a 9% increase from the 260 fatalities the year prior. I believe I speak for everyone standing here with me today when I say one fatality is one too many, and we will do whatever we can to prevent them. During the 2020 Operation Southern Shield campaign, over 217 agencies in Georgia wrote more than 33,000 citations. 39% of those citations were for speeding. We also wrote 2,187 seatbelt citations, 1,928 distracted driving citations, and we arrested 878 people for driving under the influence. In addition to heavy speed enforcement, we will continue to target those who are not hands-free while driving. Distracted driving is also a major contributing factor in roadway crashes. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Tennessee is also blessed to have a great statewide partner in the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Here to represent them today is Captain Tim Spicer.
Thank you, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
It is a mouthful. First off, let me kick off my remarks by saying on behalf of Colonel Matt Perry, we greatly appreciate everyone being here. Thank you all for partnering with us in Operation Southern Shield. This operation, it focuses on the prime travel season, the time between Memorial Day and Labor Day when traffic fatalities and injury crashes are at their peak in the Southeast. So far in the state of Tennessee, we've had over 700 traffic fatalities this year. You all have heard a lot of data this morning, but we know that it's not just data. Each one of these fatalities represent a loved one, a family member, a friend, or a classmate. We're talking about folks that aren't going to be at the dinner table, people that aren't going to be in class when school starts in a few weeks. It impacts more than those people involved directly in the crash. It has a far-reaching emotional toll. You've heard about the contributing factors this morning, but they bear repeating. Often the factors are speeding, impaired driving, not wearing your seatbelt, and reckless and distracted driving. And each one of these factors are all driver error. They can be prevented by the driver simply making the right choice. Everyone you see here today is asking the driver to make the right choice to help us combat this rising trend that we're seeing. During this operation, THP will have increased visibility on the Tennessee roadways to combat this problem. We want you to arrive to your destination safely. We're committed to doing our part to making that happen, but we also need the public's help. If you see something, say something. If you see unsafe driving behavior, please dial star THP, which is star 847 on your cell phone. That will put you in touch with one of our dispatchers, and they will send a trooper to that location. This operation is about preventing lives from being lost and families from being shattered. We want you to arrive alive. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Spicer. We appreciate that very much. Each crash has a consequence, as we very well know. And today we're fortunate to have with us Ms. Regina Young, who's the Trauma Outreach and Injury Prevention Coordinator for the Erlander Health Systems, to talk to us about that. Thank you, Regina, for being here.
First of all, let me thank all of our law enforcement and traffic agency partners that have put together this Operation Southern Shield, and including Erlanger Health System in that program. For us, Erlanger Health System sees over 5,000 trauma patients every year from 63 counties across 4 states that are included in part of that Southern Shield, including North Georgia and Southeast Tennessee. Motor vehicle collisions are the second leading cause of traumatic injury for all trauma patients. Factors such as high rates of speed, not using your seatbelt, and distracted driving all contribute to death and serious injury for all age groups. Collisions with high rates of speed may cause serious injury that affect a person for the remainder of his or her life, including lifelong pain and various degrees of disability, leading to loss of income and enjoyment of life. These trauma patients involved in motor vehicle collisions with high rates of speed especially can suffer significant injuries. That includes major traumatic brain injuries, skull fractures and facial fractures, massive blood loss or hemorrhage, loss of limbs from either a traumatic amputation or crush injury in a car rollover, internal injuries such as collapsed lungs, ruptured spleens, liver lacerations, or major intestinal injuries, and of course, extensive bone fractures. Being proactive and protecting yourself is a crucial part of injury prevention when driving. In the unfortunate event that you are involved in a motor vehicle crash, these safety steps can help reduce your severity of injury. First of all, slow down. Speed is a huge contributor to death and severe injury. Wear your seatbelt correctly. Make sure it is in the right position across your shoulder and hips when fastened. Make sure children are properly secured in their car seats and that those car seats are installed correctly. Obey all traffic laws, including driving hands-free of all devices. Distracted driving kills as well. Drive defensively and be aware of your surroundings and other motorists on the road. Finally, consider taking a defensive driving course, either in person or online, and practice your driving skills to save your life and the life of others. Again, thank you for having us here today, and we appreciate all the hard work all these agencies do to save lives on roads.
Thank you very much, Regina. So today you've heard the statistics. We've even heard the outcomes. And you've heard our plea. So it's real simple. And I want to give you one more stat. As of this morning in the state of Georgia, that number that Director Poole talked about of being 800 has now reached 950 fatalities in the state of Georgia. That's not a number we're proud of, but it's a number we can turn around with all the men and women in this room's help, and especially with the help of our motoring public. So we ask you real simply, just slow down, put these down, put your phone down, buckle up, and drive sober. Thank you very much to all the men and women for what you do. Thank you for being here today, and that will conclude our press conference at this time.